gentlemen, good evening for you guys. It's early afternoon for us here in Denver, Colorado. How you guys doing today?
Doing all right. Yeah, it's fine.
Well, introduce
How
yourself.
are you doing?
The sun's shining. It's a good day. I just got back off a bike ride, and we're having some fun. So, introduce yourselves. Let everybody know who you are and where you're from.
Right. Well, I'm Timothy, and this is Richard. Yeah. And we both play in Haddock. I play the guitar, and Tim's the singer.
Tim's the singer, and we got pretty excited here. November, what is it, 4th?
The release date?
Yeah.
I think it's probably going to be it's late October.
Oh, late October. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And how did you guys start? How did the band begin? How did you guys meet?
Well, me and Robert, who plays the bass guitar. Yeah, the bass guitar. We just started out playing, like rehearsing. I had some few riffs I wanted to try out, and then soon on it was Joachim came along, played the drums, and Tim was like the. That was the last one in. Yeah, we had a hard time finding a singer like that could do that would fit in to the sound. Yeah, and then I was drunk at a party. Yeah. So that's how we pulled him.
Well, the wait paid off. I wholeheartedly feel that way. And so it's just kind of everybody getting together, and for anybody that doesn't know you, Rickard, you are the riff monster. My first encounter with you was at Sweden Rock with Skalbank. And man, we just I found out more and more what you do, and there's a band that you're in I don't like, man.
Thank you.
I'm glad you guys waited, and that you found Tim here. It's a perfect fit. I truly feel. So the other members, what are they up to today?
Joachim is he's in Spain. Yeah, he's somewhere on holiday with his family. Yeah, and Robert is in Stockholm today. Yeah.
How far away is Stockholm from you guys?
I don't know, it's a 3-hour drive. Yeah, it's about a 3-hour drive.
Okay.
I'm not sure what it is in miles and kilometers. It's like 280, 290, something like that. Ah, something like that. Yeah.
Maybe 120.
I don't know how to translate that to miles.
So you guys, we put a few examples out there of what Haddock does and what you guys do, and I'm very excited about this new album. But one of the questions I have, how do you get the sound, man? What kind of gear do y'all use to make that? Just to me, it's a very unique sound. I have some comparisons, but that's just in my own head. What do you guys use for equipment?
Well, I use the Flying V, the Gibson Flying V, and then I have a Fuzz pedal made in the States. It's a custom-made Fuzz pedal. It's like a exact copy of the Big Muff.
Okay.
It was made from 69 to 71.
That's the key there, huh?
But it's flat mids in it. It's also it breaks through the sound really good.
Yeah. I really love the sound. Again, late October, the new EP coming out, Captain Wolf. How did you guys put it together? Writing and recording process. How long did it take?
Oh, it's hard. Effective time is really hard to say because it's taken a while, but it's been a lot of just doing small amounts whenever we have the time. And that's maybe that's because I play in other bands and Tim plays in other bands and Joachim, and we always Haddock has always been floating on the side. Yeah. So when we have the time, we take Haddock to the next level,
and you make it work. So
we always want to find more time for it, and when we finished the album, the EP. Yeah.
When did you guys wrap it all up?
Oh, that was quite a while ago. I think that was during the summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was summer in Big Balls Studios.
Yep.
Yeah. We recorded everything in I think it was April.
Yeah.
But then we waited a while to be able to do the mix and the mastering. And then the only thing that we've been waiting on now is the graphics. And there's a guy in the States that's done the graphics for the cover.
Oh, okay. Who was that?
I can't remember his name. He's a concept artist for a Microsoft company or something.
Okay.
So he usually does concept art for video games and stuff like that.
Well, how'd you get hooked up with him?
I think he's a friend of a friend, I think, something like that, of Robert who plays the bass. And he just listened to us and he really liked the sound, and so he asked if he could do the cover, and he did it for free, and it was very nice of him.
Oh yeah, well that's perfect.
Yeah,
that's awesome. One thing I noticed here, and listening to the new EP, I got it a little while ago, and I've been jamming out to it. And I always hate to make comparisons, but it kept coming back in my head on when you guys, how the song would change. It would just you'd be driving on a riff, and you'd have this major change in the song. It reminded me a lot of what Sabbath used to do in some of their earlier albums. Are they an influence for you guys, or are we're just shooting from the hip and this is what we got?
No, Sabbath, of course Sabbath is a big influence.
Yeah. And I think that sometimes we could probably, when we're in the rehearsal room or whatever, and just trying to get, to write new stuff, then we could probably fall across something and say, no, that sounds a bit too much Sabbath. and then other times it'll be like, yeah, it sounds quite sort of like Sabbath, but let's keep it. It's an homage to in that case. But yeah, I mean the riff changes and everything. That's your thing.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's just to find a way to get through the song and make it interesting.
Yeah. To blend the two parts, and again, I hate making comparisons because I think obviously there's 90% of the bands out there that play the kind of music that we're after is obviously influenced somewhere along the line by Sabbath, but not to say that you guys are copying them, but just the changes reminded me of that, and that was something that kept coming up in my head.
But we've always said that if you can recognize it, it's probably good.
Yes. And
so let's use it.
And you have a very distinctive sound. I've turned quite a few people on here to some of the older stuff, and they're just like, holy shit, where are these guys from? It strikes a chord with the people that hear it. That's for sure. It's good music, man. It's not too far on one spectrum or too far on the other. You got a big audience with the type of music you play. It's solid shit. Let me just call it that. It's good stuff. Dance Macabre, Part 1. I'm listening to it. And I'm just waiting because, again, I don't need to, focus more attention on the guitar player by any means, but I've always liked your solos, how they're not overcomplicated. They're not, because you can make a guitar solo annoying after so long. It's got to fit, and if you put too much in, you've overworked it. And so on Part 1, I'm like, where the hell's the solo at, And then I noticed, okay, we got a Part 2, and of course, I mean, you hit it out of the park, man. It's exactly what the song calls for in my eyes. I was a guitar player, never made it, but so that's my thing. Is I want to see what that solo does, and that solo needs to tell its own little version of the story. And I really feel on that one he did a hell of a job. It blended right in.
That the solo in part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It just felt natural, and I didn't have to work on that. I think it came like straight. It just followed the song, so it was simple.
Says the good guitar player.
It's not a very hard solo, actually.
No, and
just a few notes, but I think it.
But I agree with you there. I mean, I really think it fits in there perfectly. It really does capture the mood of the song.
Exactly, and it's it's not overcomplicated, and that's I don't know. It's like some guys it's like they're just showing off their ability, and it doesn't flow with the song. And I needed to mention. I really like the way everything is put together here. Another one, Henry the Regicide. Well, what was your inspiration for that one? That was I did a little research, and you guys have some terms over there in Europe that that we don't use. So I thought, what the hell's regicide? And okay, give me the backstory on that.
Well, basically, Henry the Regicide was it was nobody special. He was one of the guys that signed the death warrant for the King of England in the Middle Ages. One of them before the sort of just right before the English Civil War, and he was nobody special. He was one of 30 people that signed the death warrant for the king, and he happens to be an ancestor of mine. I found out by doing some research, and the thing is that when I did the research, I found lots of ancestors, and then they all have the sort of like the first names and the surnames and everything. But then all of a sudden in this list, there was this one guy that just said Henry the Regicide, and that was it. and I thought, oh man. And I was talking to my dad before he died about this, and he said that would be such a cool name for a band. And I sort of disagreed with him, and I said, but it would be a really cool name for a song. And so that's where it came from. I thought, so we're going to have to do a song called Henry the Regicide now.
And that was the first song we made for the EP?
Yeah.
The new one. It's always interesting, because the great thing about music is you can interpret it, lyrics, in so many different ways. And when you get to the root of the story, to find that out and to have that understanding of how the artist put this together and their research behind it and their work into it, is always really neat to know. Hear it from the mouth of the people that wrote it.
Well, I still see it as a sort of a free interpretation as well, because I feel when I was writing the lyrics, it was sort of also about the time of everything with Edward Snowden and things like that, the whistleblower. Yeah. And so I mean, depending on and when I do lyrics, I always try to leave them as open to interpretation as possible.
Are you the main lyric writer?
But I had as much sort of Edward Snowden in mind when I read the lyrics as anything else. But yeah, it was it's just about hiding the power, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So with this release at the end of October, what does 2017 look like for Haddock? What do you guys got in store for you?
We don't really know yet.
Yeah, well, we have a plan to do the same thing as Scoutmantles, probably release singles to keep the band how do you say?
Yeah, I think just record one song at a time and release it instead of doing the whole album thing. Because it's good fun releasing albums, but at the same time, it's sort of quite a bit of a weight.
Yeah.
Just to, and instead, because we sort of, now we live in different towns and everything as well, so it's better to get one song done and then release that, and then just get the energy to do the next song and so forth.
And you know, and the whole album recording that, it's kind of getting to be an out of date practice too. People, you're putting out fresh material more often. People's attention spans have shortened. So I think you know
they want stuff right away.
Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it, you know, it's hard because I've always said, man, songs take years to write. They really do. It's you take years of experience and you put it into a song. It may take a day or two to write it physically out, but you have years of experience that go into that. Any plans for, are you hitting the road? You going to play some shows?
Well, if someone asks us to play a show, we will play a show.
Yeah, I think that the record label behind this release now wants us to play a couple of shows in Sweden for the release.
Okay.
And so we've got no idea exactly when or where that's going to be, but we'll do that definitely.
What's the live scene like in your guys' area there in Karlstad?
In Karlstad, it's pretty good now. It's better than it's been for quite a while. It seems as though there's always some gig that you can
go check
out. It wasn't always like that. Karlstad's quite a small town.
Yeah, but we even had Motorhead have been playing.
Yeah,
here, like in a smaller club.
Really?
Yeah, and Wasp as well.
Judas Priest.
Yeah.
How many people live there?
Oh, it's about between 80 and 90,000. So.
Okay.
Just shy of 100,000.
Well, that's a nice size. You don't have the craziness that you do. But you know, even when I was in Stockholm, your biggest city there, it wasn't like over here. It wasn't as congested, and there's a lot more transportation versus everybody driving in a car over here, you know?
Yeah. Well, and at the same time, I mean, if you compare New York to the whole of Sweden, there's more population in New York than the whole of Sweden.
Yeah.
So even Sweden's capital is going to be quite small in comparison. So yeah.
You know, I had mentioned to you a little bit earlier, and I'll say it again, man. I'm really glad you guys did wait. I feel that those vocals hit it. Jim, how long have you been singing in bands?
Oh, it's been quite a while now. I've had my other band for going on 20 years now, I think. More than 20 years, yes. And so, yeah, it's just something I've always done.
Just always done it. And how long have you been playing guitar?
About 22 years, I think. Something like that.
Now you both have kids. Are they getting into it? Are they seeing what Dad does, and they say, "Hey, I want to do this too"?
My kids are so small yet. They like I think they like rock and roll music at least.
They better, right?
The youngest is 1 year old, and the oldest is 3 years. So, I see they're starting to bang their heads a little bit and put on some music, so that's a good sign.
My daughter was in it for a while, and I think she might turn her attention towards it again. But she's always sort of been the one to try different things. But she's been in bands and she's played the festival as well in Sweden. So.
Okay.
But it was something that didn't hold her attention for that long. And she started off playing the guitar, and then she wanted to play the drums, and then I think back to the guitar after that. And but nothing held her attention that long.
You know, I mean, I love it. I love taking my kids are, you know, last week we were jamming out down the basement. I got my wife on drums, oldest on bass, youngest on guitar. They love going to shows. You know, I got to buy 4 tickets now instead of 2. You know, give them some earplugs and, you know, it's, you know, you go to these rock and roll shows, man, it's just one big family and everybody digs seeing the youngsters there and they're pretty aware, you know, to be careful and, I think it's great. It's our family outing is rock and roll, man. Like, you know, you've seen them, you know, you got to meet them at Sweden Rock, Rickard. They just loved it. You know, they were, when we got back, I took the youngest one to Nashville to Guns N' Roses, and, you know, he was up for 30 hours, and rock and roll is what kept him motivated, man, and it's really nice to see that. I'm glad that I've been able to pass that passion along.
So you're starting a family business with your
here. You know, they really want to be a part of it. They really do. They love music. It's always going. They're always playing it. That's our thing at our house. We skip out on a lot of stuff just for going to concerts and rock and roll, and you know, we don't watch TV and we don't do a lot of things just so we can do that as a family. And it's very special to me, and so I like to hear cool stories about that too, you know. But let's see here. What you know, we're I know you guys, it's getting late there. And again, with young ones, you might have some stuff to do, but you know, bottom line is, where at the end of October, man, where can we direct people to find your stuff and get them turned on to it and buy it?
Bandcamp is the major digital channel, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And iTunes.
Oh yeah.
Spotify.
Okay.
Yeah, Amazon, Google Play, all of the digital channels there as well. And then on CD, we could probably send you a link so you could include it.
Yeah, because I don't know, I'm still old school. I like the hard copy of it.
Yeah. I will send you a copy.
I'm a big fan. I still have some stuff to send you too. I've been just running crazy, man. But well, you guys, thank you so much. Very excited for this new release. I mean, everybody else should be. I've got to hear it. I'm very excited to introduce it to people. Really dig the work you guys do, and can't wait to, you know, spread the word for you. And, you know, thank you very much for taking the time to write good music and put it out there for everybody.
Thank you for helping us.
Yes, you know, it's good, man. I love music, and I love good music even more. So I feel you guys fall into that category. But good to talk to you again. You keep making music for us, all right, fellas?
Let's keep in touch.
Yes.